Hello and welcome to the Crag Centre in Edinburgh for today's WBBL Championship matchup between Caledonia Pride and Newcastle Eagles. Today's broadcast is brought to you live from Stream Scene, and wherever you may be joining us from, we would just like to thank you for your continued support of Caledonia Pride basketball, and we hope to welcome you back to a game sometime soon when it's safe to do so. Well, let's jump into it. Today's matchup is set to be a great one. Both teams come into this one just posting one tally in the win column in the WBBL Championship standings, and so there will be a sense of urgency about this fixture. Both teams looking to get that elusive second win on the season. Last time these sides met, it was a long time ago, last January, folks, and Newcastle ran out victors in that one, beating the Pride 72-47. But it's fair to say Newcastle are a very different look side from that day. They have lost Kadverteshut and Coop to TKH Hanover, and that has led to the addition of Deborah Rodriguez Perez in the inside. The Spanish post, who studied in Newcastle, of course, since played at Sheffield Hatters in the WBBL, but this will only be her third game in a Newcastle jersey, so we'll look to see how she progresses through tonight's matchup. For the Pride, though, this is their third game in 6 days, coming off back-to-back losses against Nottingham and Manchester in the WBBL Trophy the other night. But I'm delighted to tell you there is an addition of Pollyanna Story back into the Pride squad, and she will go straight into action after being out short-term with an injury. We'll bring you the starters now for the Caledonia Pride. Today we have Rose Harvey, Shan Phillips, Maud Ranger, Eva Kerr and Pollyanna Story all starting for your Pride. For Newcastle, they look to start with Mick Vicker at the post. They then she is accompanied in the front court by Abigail Lowe. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Deborah Rodriguez Perez in the center with Molly Arnold and Alison Burrell. Key matchup for this one for the Pride is going to be how they contain Gorell. She likes to slash the paint and get to bucket, and that's going to be a key matchup for the home team here to try and keep her quiet tonight. And so we're a couple of minutes away from tip-off here. The coaches just getting their last words in. Of course, today the Pride are coached by Donnie McDonald, assisted with Bart Singers and John Day, as Bart still recovers from that knee surgery. So key one today will be, can Pride really utilise their size? The post players for Pride, obviously with Polly coming back, it's going to be a key to the game, is can they go inside, use their height to their advantage? And I think if they play a fast-paced game early enough, Newcastle don't tend to go to their bench too often. They don't go too deep. And so they can try and run Newcastle off the floor today. That'll be the keys for Donnie McDonald and the Pride team trying to get this win in the WBBL Championship. We'll be back with you shortly for tip-off. And so the teams have now taken the floor. You will see the starting five of Caledonia Pride ready to go, huddled up, and Newcastle Eagles will take the floor shortly. For the Eagles, they've played 4 games this side of the new year, so they come into this one having played Cardiff most recently. Cardiff in that one managing to get a 2-point win over Newcastle. And so today's matchup is really going to be a good one, folks. We hope to see some fast-paced, good basketball, and hopefully Pride can get the win over the line today and move on up in the standings. And as both teams take the knee in support of Black Lives Matter movement, standing with everyone around the social injustices we face in our sport. And the tip-off is gone, and Newcastle are in possession to start. And we're underway on this Saturday in WBBL action. Corral goes behind the back. Kick out to Perez. Backing down on Story. Good straight up defense from Story, but just manages to get the look over the top. Rongier kicks it up to the top. Back to Polly. Finds Sean Phillips. Story with the jump shot, no good. And now Newcastle will come back down the other way with it. Low goes into Perez, backing her down again. No good this time, and Rongier comes up with the rebound. Good take from Story. She euros through the contact and manages to get it to drop. Pride jump out into a full court press now, trying to halt down the Eagles' offense. McVicker all the way to the hoop, no good. And Sean Phillips pushes the tempo, tries to go coast to coast. Can she get it to drop? No, but there's going to be a foul called, and she'll go to the line. Correction, sorry, looks like it may have been a travel called on Sean Phillips there. But she gets the steal and comes back the other way with it. And with those points, Sean Phillips now passes Sarah Thompson all-time scorers list for the Pride. Of course, Sean came off of a great game on Wednesday night against Manchester. She had 17 points and 15 rebounds in that one. And she'll look to have another great game here today to help her team get that win. Low to inbound. Finds McVicker open underneath the basket. Rongier manages to get tip on it and brings it the other way. And Harvey just touching it there out of bounds. It's going to be Newcastle ball. And so that will give Pride time to set up the full court pressure. Pride come up with it at the half court. Kicked out to Rongier. She can't get the three-point shot to drop. And McVicker bringing the ball up the floor for the Eagles now. Mid-range jumper, and it's good. Eva Kerr just couldn't get a hand to it quick enough, and McVicker manages to score. And Low with the steal comes back the other way, can't get it to go, and Pride now have the ball, pushing the floor. Rongier with the pump fake manages to get her defender out of stance and off balance, which leads to the foul call. Sean Phillips with the inbound, finds Rongier. Into Phillips in the post. And I think we may have a 3 in the key called there on Sean Phillips. And so Newcastle come up with it. McVicker in the open floor. Kerr does well to get a hand to it. And it's going to be Pride basketball after a couple of rebounds. Goes loose, and Pride come up with the team rebound there. Story with it at the high post. Kicks out to Mayella Falou, who's checked in for the Pride for the first time tonight. And Story with the shot. She gets it to go. McVicker with the ball. She looks to slow the tempo for Newcastle. Manages to get to the mid-range, and McVicker is starting to heat up here. That's her now at 4 points. Back-to-back plays for Newcastle to get them. Looks Pollyanna Story for 3. Sean Phillips underneath with the rebound. Can't get it to go on the putback. And Garrell pushing the ball up the floor now. And a blocking foul on Sean Phillips. And she tried to put pressure on the ball handler. And Perez with it in the high post. Tries to back down Story, but Story does a great job of trying to get her out of the paint. Gives up no good angles for Perez to get a shot that she would look for. Ranger just has that pass tipped away, but Sean Phillips comes up with a steal. And it's going to be a kick ball on McVicker. Coach Donnie McDonald wanted Sean Phillips to attack the basket there by the looks of things. She did have an open lane, but she tried to go with a dish, and now Pride will have an inbound. Ranger with the low rip, puts up the shot, no good. McVicker really pushing the tempo for the Eagles here. McVicker managing to take 5 field goal attempts already early here in the first quarter. She's gone 2 from 5 from the field. Find some nice mid-range game for her, so Pride will look to limit that in the next little while. Corral goes behind the back on Phillips and takes her to the hoop. It's really going to be a key matchup for Pride, is how Sean Phillips does on Garrell. She really can get hot, and that'll be what the Pride will be focused on limiting. And Sean Phillips obviously picking up an early foul already, so she'll have to be careful of that. Garrell comes up with it, coming the other way. Pushes it out in the open floor to Georgia Smith. And it's going to be a foul on Pride, on Story, I believe. And so Georgia Smith will go to the line for the first time tonight. Australian gets the first one to go. And the second drops as well, and that'll stretch it out to a 4-point game here in the first quarter. Just over 5 minutes left to play in this one. Flew into the high post. And she finds Story. Story puts up the shot, and Ranier with the rebound. Ranger hunted that rebound down and manages to get it back for Pride, but they can't get a shot to go. And Georgia Smith now bringing the ball up. And it's going to be a jump ball call there. Ball was tied up as she tried to go to the hoop, and so Pride will have it with the possession arrow. Story finds Maud on the cut, puts up the 3. Can't get it to drop. Roger just struggling to find a rhythm here. Still yet to put points on the board for the Pride. Story can't gather that loose ball, and it will be a Newcastle Eagles end line. And so Elise Tweedy checks into the game for the Pride. Ranger guarding McVicker, who finds a cutting Georgia Smith, who puts up a shot. Newcastle really spreading the ball early well here and sharing the scoring as they do it. Pride looking to cut down on this lead. Just a forced pass there. And unfortunately, it will be a Newcastle ball. Sean Phillips hustling to try and get that steal. And Maud Ranger comes up with it. So Mayella brings it over the timeline. Kicks to Roger. Ranger with the 3. Well, hopefully that'll be her finding her rhythm now, and she can get some more to go. Loughran with the steal and the score. And so Pride bring it back to 1. And it looks like Newcastle are saying it's time to talk as Pride bring it back from 6-point stretch back into 1 with just under 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. It had the makings of being a great game, and so far that's exactly how it's going. A tight one early on. Newcastle spreading the ball really well and getting some open looks, and Pride just managing to get shots to fall there. I think their full court pressure is working really well for them right now. They're managing to get hands to everything in the open floor and bring it back the other way. And Loughran there with a great steal to then come up with the big 2 points to cut the Newcastle lead to 1. And so the 5 on the floor for Pride is Maud Ranger, Elise Tweedy, Sean Phillips, and Mayella Falou. Falou picks up the ball, and McVicker manages to get to the hoop but doesn't get it to go. So Pride will bring it back the other way. Sean Phillips tacks the basket, kicks off to Ranger. Ball swung to Mayella at the top. Another board pulled down by Pride again. At least Tweedy getting her hands to that one. So Tweedy in the high post, Mayella on the cut. And Sean Phillips puts up a 3-pointer as the shot clock winds down and can't get it to drop. And that's going to be a foul on Sophie Loughran. Okay, and we're back in action. Alison Gurrell with the ball. And McVicker finds a cutting Georgia Smith underneath the basket for 2 points. Pride coming back down the other end. And Loughran looks to go inside to Tweedy. And they'll exchange on the same side, and Sean Phillips gets a look, and that's going to be a foul on Chukwa Etu. And that'll be her first. And so Shan Phillips goes to the line for 2 points. Can't get the first of 2 to go. But she gets the second, and that'll bring it to a 2-point game with just over 2.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Chukwuetu bringing it over the floor now. Tries to drive right on Shan Phillips. Good on-ball defense, and the ball swung across the top to McVicker. Corral with the pump fake into a spin move and gets a mid-range jumper to fall. Shan Phillips hits the floor. She looks to be okay though. Chukwuetu now picking up the full court pressure on Maela Falou, who finds Shan Phillips on the wing, and Sophie Loughran open underneath the basket. Great pass from Shan Phillips to see her underneath the basket, and they get the easy 2. Garel puts up a quick shot, and so Pride pull down the rebound, bringing it the other way now. And Ranger puts up the shot, and it looks like it's going to be a long 2 on that one. And Newcastle bring it the other way and foul on Loughran. Georgia Smith back at the line. Georgia Smith, of course, who also spent a season with the Manchester Mystics and played 3 seasons in Australia's SBL Division 1. Rose Harvey bringing the ball up the floor for the Pride. She had a great game Wednesday night, posting 13 points. Shot 2 from 4 in the fourth quarter from behind the arc, and really added a bright spark towards the end of that game for the Pride. So she'll be looking to add to that today as she makes a 2-point play. Garel bring the ball up the floor, finds her teammate McVicker, and another foul called on Shan Phillips, and that's going to be her second. And so it looks like she'll be heading to the bench. Not what the coaching staff would have wanted early in this game, picking up 2 early fouls as she marks Alison Garel of the Eagles, who can be their star player and has already posted 8 points here in the first quarter. And so Rose Harvey brings the ball up the floor, crosses the timeline, and she's guarded by Georgia Smith. Bounce pass into Kerr. Kerr with the turnaround jumper, gets it to go. So just over 40 seconds left in this one. Pride up by 1, taking the first lead of the game for the Pride. Garel drives past Story and manages to get it to drop. Ranger finding Rose Harvey on the far side, and Ranger just catches the ball with a foot on the out of bounds line there, and so that'll be a turnover. And Newcastle Eagles have the sideline out of bounds. Garel with it on the near side. guarded by Rangier. Rangier picks up the hand check foul. And Garel gets the first one to drop. And second as well. And that'll stretch the Eagles out to a 3-point lead with just 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. Rangier throws up a shot and she's fouled, so she'll go to the line for 3 points and a chance to tie the game heading into the stoppage at the end of the first quarter. Maud Rangier, of course, playing her college basketball at Westmount College in California, and 4-time league champion with Westmount, as she makes 1 of 3 from the line there. Frustration foul at the other end by the Pride, and so Garel will go to the line. Just 1.6 left on the clock, though. So she makes both of those. Pollyanna's Story looks to go long, and Garel comes up with the steal and can't get the deep 3 to drop. And so at the end of the first quarter of action, the score is Caledonia Pride 22 and the visiting Newcastle Eagles have a 4-point lead on 26. We'd like to give a special thanks to our sponsors, our official team partner, the University of Edinburgh Sport and Exercise, BIVA RE, our official team uniform sponsor, and of course, as you saw at the start of the game, Pride proudly supports the Black Lives Matter movement, taking the knee before the game, and official transport partner is Hayes Coaches. And official sponsor Ember Compliance, who are leaders for management system consultancy for fire and safety. And today's official sponsor, Story and Story, building brands. It's a personal thing, Story and Story. And a special thank you and acknowledgement for our Scottish basketball community for their dedication to developing our young players across the country. And so we'll take a short break and be back with you for live second quarter action from this matchup between Caledonia Pride and the Newcastle Eagles. And so we're back in action in the second quarter. A 4-point lead for the Newcastle Eagles and Pride. We're looking to try and cut that down. Ella Docherty checks into the game for the first time tonight. She manages to get a hand to it. 3-point shot, no good for the Eagles, and Maud Rongier comes up with the ball and will push it the other end. Rose Harvey pushes Ella Docherty through, finds Falou. Pump fake from Harvey, manages to get to the mid-range. And Newcastle come up with a rebound on that missed jump shot from Rose Harvey. McVicker with the 3-point shot, manages to get it to drop. And now Newcastle's lead will extend to 7. And McVicker can't get the shot to go. Ella Docherty comes up with a rebound, but she throws a long pass cross court, and that's picked off. Finally, Pride managed to get a safe pair of hands on the loose ball there. Harvey with a bounce pass into Pollyanna Story. And an offensive foul called on Story. She was trying to hold off her defender in order to get that pass, and the referee calls an offensive foul. Felt there was a little bit too much contact from Story as she was trying to jostle for position. And so Ella Docherty will pick up Abigail Lowe. Lowe drives baseline. Rose Harvey gets a hand to it, and Story will come up with the ball, bringing it up the other end of the floor. Gets Myella on the backdoor cut, who kicks to Harvey. Can't get the 3-point shot to go. And Newcastle manages to get a safe pair of hands on it and brings it up the other end. Garrell with it now. Looks to drive on Harvey. Kicks across. Deborah Rodriguez-Perez shut down well there by Story. Looks like there may have been a foot on the out of bounds line at the other end, and so that'll be Newcastle ball underneath the basket on the end line. Garrell kicks to Lowe. And the shot falls short, and Longier comes up with a rebound. Driving left. Finds Story on the 3-point line, and it's good. Story gets the shot to drop, and so she'll extend to 9 points on the night. Garrell finds Lowe underneath, can't gather the pass, and so Pride will have the ball. 3-point game with just over 7 to play in this second quarter of action. Myella Falou bring the ball up the floor, kicks to Docherty, who finds Story, backs down. Can't get the shot to fall. She seems a little bit frustrated at that one not dropping, but she did just manage to get a big 3-point shot to fall. And actually, correction, it was noted as a long 2. Apologies for that. Ella Docherty drives baseline, goes behind the back, finds an open Rose Harvey on the 3-point line. No good, and there's going to be a foul here called on Abigail Lowe. And so Maud Rongier end line Pride. Rongier with it. Kicks to Falou. backs down on low and manages to get the lefty layup to drop. Roger picks up McVicker now. Rodriguez Perez with the high post manages to get down into the low post. The ball swung back out to McVicker, who takes a three-point shot attempt, can't get it to go. It's going to be Newcastle ball. Ella Doherty just trying to make the hustle play to try and save it and couldn't quite get there. And so it's Newcastle ball on the end line, out of bounds. And Rodriguez Perez can't get the two-point shot to fall. Story pushing the floor, goes behind the back, and she's passed that one out of bounds. Another turnover for Caledonia Pride, and that will take them to 11 turnovers in this first half. It's something that they'll look to adjust. But winning the battle on the boards right now, Pride, they're winning 17-14 on the glass, and that'll help them try and ease back into this game. But there's a little bit of foul trouble going on as Rose Harvey picks up a foul on the ball handler there. Maddie McVicker kicks to Rachel Bland, guarded by Maud Rangier, and Garrell driving on Sean Phillips, who's back in the game. She manages to get the turnaround to go, gets Sean Phillips out of her stance, manages to get the easy two. Nice little step back from Ella Doherty there on the baseline. Jump shot and keeps this game within one. Rangier puts up the three, can't get it to drop. And Maddie McVicker finds Garrell underneath the basket in transition. A great pass from McVicker, and she gets that one to drop. And so Pride will call timeout. It was getting a little bit frantic there in the open floor, and so Coach Donnie McDonald calls timeout for that one, and the Pride will want to talk things over. Fast break points for the Pride, really standing out right now. They've gone 7 points in transition. The first quarter, they did a great job of picking off passes in the open floor in transition and bringing it the other way and really capitalizing on it ahead of the first quarter break. And Pride shooting a sensational 61% from 2-point field goals, 11 from 18. And they will look to continue that hot streak of shooting. And Pollyanna Story going 4 from 8. And had some great looks and frustrated at herself for a couple not dropping, but she's already posted 8 points, and she'll look to extend that and give Pride a great chance of winning this basketball game. So your 5 on the floor for the Pride are Maud Rangier, Sean Phillips, Pollyanna Story, Maëla Falou, and Ella Doherty. Pollyanna Story with it at the top, gets the shot to drop. And so Pride will throw on the press now, try and slow down this Newcastle offense. Low kicks to McVicker. Oh, and Gorell comes off the screen on the near side. She was cutting through the paint open. Just couldn't get a look to get her shot up. And so the shot clock resets to 14. McVicker with the inbound. Gorell jab steps on Phillips, goes right. Phillips does a great job of staying in front and manages to force Garel to give up the pass. Pride will have the ball. Ella Falou brings it over the timeline and finds Ella Docherty on the wing. Sean Phillips in the high post. Kick out to Rongier, and she gets the 3 to draw. Maud Rongier now in double digits, shooting 50% from the 3-point line tonight. A great night of shooting, and we all know that she can shoot the ball well. Had a great shooting display at Nottingham last weekend. Newcastle will not want to leave her open. Flat pass across the top, picked off by Lowe. She can't get the transition basket to go, and McVicker fumbles a ball out of bounds, and so Pride basketball. And Sophie Loughran checks back into the game for the Pride as Ella Docherty goes to the bench. Garel gets a hand to that pass from Sean Phillips, and she's a little frustrated she couldn't get two to it. And so the ball will stay with the Pride and line out of bounds. Loughran finds Story, and Sean Phillips on the back door. Great bit of movement from the Pride to get open underneath the basket. Sean Phillips makes it, but again, that transition defense is causing Pride some issues right now, giving up another easy basket in transition. And there's going to be a foul called on Maud Rongier. And Pride throw back on that full court pressure. Maud Rongier picks up Chukwuetu. Oh, with a great pass across to Georgia Smith, finds her open on the 3-point line, but she can't get it to go. And we're going to have another foul here. And since so timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick break and then come back to the last 3 minutes of action here at the Crag Centre in Edinburgh. The Eagles are leading the Pride by 1 point. Tight game, so stick with us and let's see how this one finishes out in the first half. And so 3 minutes left in this one before half time. Rose Harvey brings the ball up the floor. She's guarded by Georgia Smith. Manages to find Story, and Loughran on the baseline cut, and Pride finding some success in behind this Newcastle defense, just on the baseline cuts and trying to keep active. Defenders going to sleep a little bit on those back doors, and so they manage to get the easy two. McVicker driving left, step back, manages to get it to go. Rose Harvey calling for Pollyanna Story to come get the ball in the high post. She switches with Sean Phillips, and Georgia Smith comes up with a steal from Story. McVicker slowing the ball down and finds Garrell on the backdoor cut. Sean Phillips lost her at the top of the three-point line, and they managed to get the easy two to go. Pride come down with it though, and Sean Phillips on the boards again manages to get the easy two, and now Pride will have 3 players in double digits early in this game. Again, Pride, when they manage to get their hands to the ball early in transition, they're causing problems for Newcastle, managing to get deflections and steals to then bring the ball the other way for an easy two. We've seen that in stints of this game. As I mentioned at the top of the game today, I said that Pride would try and push the ball and limit Newcastle, but it's really been a case of the other way. Newcastle have done a great job in transition, but again, just in spells, Pride managing to stop that and turn it into a favor, and that's how they have managed to extend to this 1-point lead. It's been neck and neck all first half. Roger off of the screen and pop, and Rose Harvey takes a shot at the top, can't get it to go. Roger comes up with a board though, and she's posting very close to a double-double right now. 10 points, 8 rebounds. Sean Phillips can't get the easy two to go, but she manages to put pressure on Georgia Smith, who then throws the ball out of bounds, and so Pride will have possession. Georgia Smith not happy with the call there. She felt it came off of Sean Phillips as she extended out a knee. But it's Pride ball. They have a chance to extend this 1-point lead. Sophie Lockram with the shot underneath. Can't get it to go, and Sean Phillips comes up with a board. And so it's going to be jump ball, Pride basketball underneath the hoop. Just 50 seconds left in the first half here. It's going to be sideline out of bounds for the Pride. Myla Falou takes it from the top, and Abigail Lowe manages to get a hand to it, and so it'll be sideline out of bounds again, and Pride will get another opportunity. Loughlin to Harvey. Harvey puts up the 3-point shot and banks it in. She had an open lane to her right there, no help defense, but instead she opts to go for the 3-point shot and gets it to drop, and so the Pride will take a 4-point lead now. They'll just look to tighten up on defense this last 20 seconds or so, try and slow down Newcastle and force them to take an ill-advised shot, and so Georgia Smith on the far side. Newcastle struggling to get the ball out of that corner. Rose Harvey with good on-ball defense. They heave up a shot, get the offensive rebound and get a 2 to go though. So Myla Falou will throw one up at the buzzer, no good. And so at the end of the first half, the score sits at 46-44 to Caledonia Pride. This has been neck and neck all first half. Both teams exchanging the leads, but Caledonia Pride managed to get it to a 2-point lead going into the half, and they'll look to extend on that coming out big in the start of the third quarter. We'll take a short break, and we thank our sponsors for their continued support of Caledonia Pride basketball. Welcome back to the action here. WBBL Championship game for you. Caledonia Pride leading the Newcastle Eagles by 2 at half-time. I've been looking over the stat sheet in this one, and honestly, to pick out a winner would be a tough ask. It has been neck and neck throughout the first half. Looking in the stat columns, 14 points from turnovers in the Pride. I was saying in the first half that when they do get a hand to the ball in transition and try and pick off that Newcastle Eagles fast break, they've been brilliant at converting, and that's really where those 14 points have come to stand out for Caledonia Pride. For Newcastle, Gorell has been exceptional for them. She has had all of her points come in the paint, has only taken one field goal attempt outside of the paint, and she's posted 18 points. And so Pride will have to focus on limiting her in the second half. Shan Phillips, of course, has that matchup, and where Shan has been quieter on the offensive end, she's posted 7 points, 6 rebounds, but she's done a great job on Gorell. A tough ask to guard Gorell. She is so active off the ball to get open and get easy looks for the Eagles. But Pollyanna Story and Maud Rongier, leading scorers for the Pride. Story with 12 and Rongier with 10 and 8 rebounds. So she just has 2 rebounds to go to post a double-double here, and we're only at half-time. But it has been neck and neck. It's going to be a great second half, folks. So stay tuned, and we hope that the Pride can get this win for you on this Saturday afternoon. Newcastle will start us off in the second half with possession, and so we'll head back over to the action at the Crags now. Georgia Smith with the ball, finds Gorell again. Backing down on Phillips. Phillips does a good job, forces her to pass it back out. She didn't like the look, and it's going to result in a turnover. Ella Docherty will bring the ball up the floor for the Pride. 5 on the floor for the Pride are Story, Fallu, Phillips, Docherty, and Rongier. Now Rongier swings the ball over to Docherty. Docherty just turns the ball over. A lazy pass there is picked off by Georgia Smith. It goes to McVicker, who hesitated on the pass, and then the ball slips from her hands, and Rongier comes up with it, comes the other way. Phillips with the step through and gets the 2 to drop. Now the lead extends for the Pride. They've come out all guns blazing in the start of the second half and managed to extend their lead early. Phillips on the on-ball defense. And Smith kicks to Gorell, now matched up by Story. Story trying to keep active feet in front of her, does a great job. And Ella Docherty down low with Chikwoetu does a great matchup job in front and manages to come up with the ball, but Ranger turns it over, and Lowe will come down the other end in transition, gets the easy 2. Pride just need to find their way again. Fallu standing on the out of bounds line, and so that'll be a turnover for the Pride. And so McVicker with the ball at the top. She swings it to Chikwoetu, who finds Georgia Smith driving in now. Nice little teardrop floater off the glass from Smith. That'll bring us to a tied game. Gorell with the steal on the inbound, passes to Smith. Fast break and 1. Smith will go to the line to convert the 3-point play. Garel does a great job of just picking off that inbound pass from the Pride and brings it up the other end, finds teammate Georgia Smith underneath the basket, who was fouled on the shot. Gets the bucket to fall, a friendly roll for her, but she can't convert the three-point play. So Sean Phillips pushes the tempo, bringing it up the floor, goes coast to coast. Can't get the layup to fall, but it's going to be a out of bounds to the Pride. So they'll have another chance at it. Kicked out to Harvey. Harvey finds Ranger in the corner. Can't get the three-point shot to drop. And Maud's been having a good night at shooting here for the Pride. Ball swings to Garel, who finds Smith off of the pick and pop. But she can't get the mid-range shot to go, and Sham Phillips coming down with it again. This time, she can't get it to drop. Looks for the putback and is fouled, and so she'll go to the line for a chance at 2 points. 2 free ones coming up. It's been a difficult night for the Pride at the line, and they've shot a below average 50% from the line, whereas their opponents, Newcastle, only missing 1 so far on the night. So they go 10 from 11. Shan gets them to go this time, and so it'll be a tied game. Phillips pressing the ball handler. She's just kind of right in the hip of Abigail Lowe as she's bringing it up the floor, and so that'll be a foul for Sean Phillips, and she picks up her 3rd early here in the second half. Looks like Chukwu Itu might have had taken a slight knock on in the open floor. She gets back to her feet. So Garel inbounds to Smith. We're tied at 50. Garel again off the cut. She's so good at moving off the ball and getting open for her teammates in paint. She must just be a joy to play for a guard, because they would be dishing out dimes all day with her ball movement. Sorry, her off-ball movement, and the Pride managed to get one to go there, and they're 2 points up. Falou with a great hand to a loose pass, but Garel comes up with it, goes behind the back on Phillips. Phillips playing good on-ball defense, staying in her stance and hands up, manages to get the tip on the shot, and they'll come the other way. Ranger with it, dishes to Story, and that's going to be, it's going to be a foul. Who's the foul on? Yeah, it's going to be a foul on Story. I really thought that was a jump ball there, folks, but the referee crew have called it as a foul, and so Newcastle will have the ball in possession. It's Chukwu Itu who brings it over the timeline for the Eagles. Double down screen on the far side for McVicker, but Roger was there waiting for her. Does a great job of dropping off and below the screens. And so the foul was on Ranger, and McVicker will go to the line. Eva Kerr checking into the game for Pollyanna Story. McVicker scores the first. And scores the second. So we'll have a tied game once again at 52. It's neck and neck. You don't want to take your eyes off this one for a minute. Kicked out to Phillips. Phillips puts up the 3. Great shot from Phillips. She's really had a tough night, had her hands full playing defense on Gorell, but she's managed to clock up some digits on the offensive end as well. She posts 12 now, and Phillips comes up with the rebound as well. It's her 8th rebound on the night. Sean Phillips once again having a great night here, folks. Played great on Wednesday night in BBL Trophy and posts 14 here tonight, 14 and 12 rebounds. She just works so hard and does a lot of it. Her work goes unrecognized, but when you look at the stat sheet, she's a massive impact for the Pride. So she posts another double-double here tonight. That's 2 back-to-back double-doubles for her. So end line Newcastle. Pride have stretched it out to 5. Rel goes behind the back again. Good on-ball defense from Phillips. 3-point shot off the ball screen's no good, and Ranger has a chance to go coast to coast here. And they're gonna call an offensive foul on Ranger. McVicker, I think, put her body on the line and took that charge for her team, and so possession will sit with Newcastle. Corral bringing the ball up the floor. Horn screen. Takes it, manages to find McVicker off of the Horns action. Can't get anything to go right now for the Eagles in this last minute and a half. And so Pride lead 57 to 52. Falou bringing the ball up. Sophie Loughran with it. Sean Phillips hustling on the ground to come up with it. Gets a tip on the miss. It falls out to Falou. Loughran with a fake. Passes into Phillips. Spin move. Foul. She'll go to the line to earn a couple. For the first time tonight, we see Maud Ranger go to the bench for the Pride, the leader on the floor. She's picked up 3 fouls, and so she'll sit for a little bit of this third period. Phillips gets the first to go. And the second too, and so the Pride have jumped out into a little run here in the middle of the third quarter. They have gone 9-2 in the last 3 minutes of action against the visitors. Story gets a hand up on Rodriguez Perez's shot and the miss, but Perez comes up with a rebound. Kicked out to McVicker. She'll take a high ball screen. Drives, kicks, great hustle from Falou to get a hand to it. And so Newcastle will have the ball out of bounds with very little left on the shot clock. End line goes to Gorell. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Phillips gets a hand to it. Great bit of hustle play. This could be a great defensive possession from the Pride. Managing to get this clock all the way down to 2 for Newcastle. Falou with the ball defense. And McVicker gets the shot off but can't put it on target. And so a great bit of defense from the Pride. Unfortunately, they've turned it over though. And they've done a great job again in transition. Blue put her body on the line, just played good straight up defense, and McVicker was unable to convert. Pollyanna Story coming down the other end for the Pride, and they'll extend out this lead even further now. Can't help but think that the Eagles maybe need to call a timeout, get a rest, and regroup. But we continue to see the action here, and Pride now 9 points adrift to the Eagles, and it's going to be a offensive foul on Deborah Rodriguez Perez as she was jostling for position with Pollyanna Story. So Coach Donnie McDonald is looking to go to his bench here. Looks like Sophie Leslie will check in for the first time tonight. Sophie, who played high school basketball in Alberta, Canada, before joining the Pride this season. And so she comes into the game tonight with a 9-point lead for the Pride. Rose Harvey defended tightly by Chukwuetu. Just get a hand on it, but it'll be out of bounds. Pride basketball. And there's a little bit of a debate going on here between the Newcastle coaching staff and our referee crew. Phillips puts up the shot, comes down with her own rebound. Newcastle manages to get a hand to it, and they'll look to put some points on the board. They've struggled in this third quarter, a big third quarter from Caledonia Pride, as they look to win this basketball game. Great dish from Gorel there, finds her teammate free underneath the basket in a 2v1 scenario, and the Eagles post their first points in over 4 minutes of action. Phillips tied up on a jump ball. Great bit of defensive work from Abigail Lowe for the Eagles as she ties up Phillips at the top of the 3-point arc. And so the possession arrow favors her hustle, and the Eagles will have the ball. Smith with it. Guarded by Harvey. Harvey and Phillips switch, and Gorel likes the mismatch, drives at Harvey, dish to Chukwuetu, can't get the shot to go, and so the Pride will come the other end. Harvey finds Story underneath the basket, turnaround jump shot, no good. Phillips again on the boards, manages to find her teammate Pollyanna Story, and so the Pride get another second chance point there. Chukwuetu just receiving some attention. She took a bump earlier in the game and was slow to get up. So I hope everything's okay with the young Eagles player as she goes to the bench. Smith inbounds to Gorel. And Gorel guarded by Harvey now. Disappointing. Sean Phillips picks up her foul, another foul, and she will more than likely go to the bench. Both Maud Ranger and Sean Phillips here in foul trouble, and so that is both Maud and Sean's fourth. And so they'll probably sit for the remainder of this third, and probably a good portion into the fourth as well. You just hope the young players in this Pride team can keep a hold of this lead, keep level-headed, so they won't have to force their main players to play with 4 fouls. Ball swung to Harvey, wide open for the 3. She gets the friendly roll. And so the Pride are now on 66. Their lead will extend to 11. That is their largest lead of the game, folks. So you hope they can capitalize on this, get into the third quarter and regroup. Obviously, foul trouble is beginning to leak in on this Pride bench, but hopefully they've got the length to get this win over the line. So Smith can't get the first go. Of course, Pride have gone to their bench a lot recently in previous games, so you'd like to think these girls have seen plenty of basketball. They know exactly what's expected of them, and so this should be no shock to them. As Maud Ranger and Shan Phillips sit out. Harvey, heat check after hitting one. Can't get it to go. So Newcastle are coming the other way. Pride have done a great job of slowing the game down for the Eagles. They haven't let them get out and run in transition. And that's where the majority of the Eagles' points do come. And so that's been a great benefit to the Pride, and that's where we've seen this lead extend for the Caledonia Pride. Just 12 fast break points for the Eagles in this one. They've also managed to keep McVicker to 14 points as of yet. The clock will spiral out before an attempt can be made, and so we go into the last quarter with a 10-point lead. Caledonia Pride leading the Newcastle Eagles 66 to 56. Just 10 minutes of action left in this one, folks. It's going to be a close one to the end. Caledonia Pride struggling with some foul trouble, with Maud Ranger and Shan Phillips both on 4. Shan Phillips has been all over the floor once again for the home side. She has posted 18 points and 17 rebounds. Maud Ranger, on the other hand, has also had 10 points and is just 1 rebound away from a double-double. So we'll take a slight pause before the last 10 minutes of action. Make sure you stick around for this one because it could go right down to the wire. Fourth quarter coming up soon. Okay, so the Pride have got us underway in the fourth quarter here with just 10 minutes to play. It's a 10-point game. Harvey, drive right. And closely, can't get anything to go, and Falulu put up a 3-point shot. Story with the rebound. Kicks round to Leslie. Leslie with the shot off the mark. So Georgia Smith comes up with it, and she's bringing it up the floor for Newcastle now. Newcastle will have a sense of urgency to try and get some points on the board early, cut down that 10-point lead while Maud Ranger and Shan Phillips are still sitting out this one. If you're just joining us, Sham Phillips and Maud Rongier, both on 4 fouls, but both in double digits for the Pride. Pollyanna Story, she's the 3rd player for the Pride to be in double digits. She's posted 18 points on the night and also on her 3rd foul, so she'll be careful not to pick up another one and end up like her 2 teammates who find themselves in foul trouble in this 4th quarter of championship action. Ball swung to Smith, can't get the shot to go. And Smith manages to gather the rebound from her teammate Bland's shot. And so the Newcastle Eagles managed to get some much needed points on the board and cut this lead down to single digits. Biggest lead for the Pride was 11 points. They'll be pushing to try and get back to that double digit in the next little while as they inbound from the sideline. Doherty with it. Finds Story. Great pivot to get into her shot. Feet set well, but it just doesn't fall for her. Newcastle with the ball at the other end now. On the inbounds. Finds McVicker. And Maud Rongier is back in the game for the Pride folks after sitting the remainder of the 3rd quarter when she picked up her 4th foul. So Garrell, slashing the paint, manages to get a right-handed layup to drop. The Eagles are within 6. Rongier takes a high ball screen from Story. Story on the dive. Ella Doherty with the corner 3. Rongier had Story on the pick and roll underneath the basket. Elected not to go for it. Dribbled to the basket herself, which opened up an opportunity for Ella Doherty to be open in the near side corner. Garrell tries to answer Doherty's 3, but no good. Loughran with it. Great gather. Goes over the defender and cannot get it to go. Slight warning to the Rachel Bland club captain there. Referee Cammy McLeese doesn't want to hear it anymore, and so he warns of the technical. And so foul is on McVicker. Loughran can't get the second to drop. Lowe comes up with it, guarded closely by Ella Doherty. Maud and Ella switch the screen at the top of the 3-point line. Garrell scoring on Loughran, and it's going to be a timeout, Pride, as the Pride coaching staff want to talk to their players. And we'll take a short pause and be back with you after this timeout for the last 7 minutes of this 4th quarter action. Pride look to inbound the ball with just over 7 minutes left. The 5 on the floor for the Pride are Maud Ranger, Pollyanna Story, Mayala Falou, Ella Docherty, and Sophie Loughran. As Docherty backs down her defender, can't get the 2-point shot to go. Smith pushes the ball the other end. Garel with the shot. Great defense from Mayala Falou to guard home and picked off in transition by McVicker. She finds Garel cutting back door on Story and manages to get the 2-point shot to go. The easy transition bucket. So Pride will look to answer on this end of the floor now. And a technical foul called. Technical foul on the coach. And so Pride will shoot the technical shot. Ranger gets the free throw to drop, and Pride will have possession off the back of the technical. Ranger with it in the corner, kicked out to Story. And a foul underneath the basket on Ranger. A little bit of frustration from the Newcastle coaching staff there. I think he would have liked to see his players step up and try and take the charge on Ranger. But unfortunately, she couldn't get out of that charge circle, and so it'll be a foul. It looks like she taken a knock to the face on that one. And so she'll go to the line. Ranger having a great night from the line, 66% before those two. If it comes down to fouling, the Eagles will probably wanting to put their hands on her to put her to the line. Great night again from Maud. She extends to 11 points on the night, shooting 3 from 6 from behind the arc. Phillips with the rebound, stripped from McVicker, sorry, and a travel on Sean Phillips, and so it will be a Newcastle ball. Timeout on the floor. Just under 6 minutes left to play. Caledonia Pride leading by 8 points in this fourth quarter of WBBL Championship action. So we'll go to the last few minutes here with a Pride lead. They have a couple of players in foul trouble. Pollyanna Story on 3, Maud Ranger and Sean Phillips on 4 apiece. Just to bring you an update of around the league, Manchester Mystics leading Essex on the road 93-86 with 2 minutes and change left in that one. Georgia Jones with a 30-point game in that one. So another close one in WBBL Championship action this weekend. Of course, your Pride will be back in action again next weekend as they will play at home against the Oakland Wolves. that is set up to be a great game for the Pride. If they can just get this win over the line today, it would really help them in the standings for this one and go into the Oakland game with a world of confidence. So Fallu kicks out to Loughran. Loughran passes to Garrell, and Garrell on a fast break. Harvey fouls, and Garrell will go to the line. And again, Newcastle just having a good spell in transition. And so Garrell goes to the line. Pollyanna Story checks in for Sophie Loughran. Loughran with 7 points herself tonight. Has been a great help to this Pride lead. Fallu brings the ball up the floor. Swings to Phillips. Phillips finds Rose Harvey on the far side. She's guarded by Rachel Bland. And Garrell again in transition. And so Coach Donnie McDonald calls timeout. He wants to talk things over as the Newcastle Eagles have eaten away at that league for the Pride, and now it's a 2-point game. This game has had all the signs to be a close one, and it is not disappointing so far. 5 minutes left in this 2-point game, and the teams are neck and neck. Just to give you an idea of just how close this game has been, I'm looking at the stat sheet right now. Points from turnovers, 17 to 14 for the Pride. Points in the paint, 38 to 34 for the Eagles. Second chance points, both teams are tied. I mean, this one has had all the makings to come right down to the wire. Both teams posting good bench points, 17 and 14 to the Eagles. And so this one is so close. You would not want to call it, and it is going to come down to the last 5 minutes of action here. Who's going to stand up and be able to get the win for their team? And so the 5 on the floor for the Pride is Fallu, Phillips, Harvey, and Ranger. Also with Pollyanna Story in the post. For the Newcastle Eagles, the 5 on the floor is McVicker, Lowe, Bland, Smith, and Garrell. Garrell with 29 points tonight. She's been phenomenal and really stretched out in this second half, and especially in this quarter alone, scoring some key transition buckets for the Eagles. Cam Phillips has done a great job on her though throughout the first half, but foul trouble led to the young Scotsman taking the bench end of the third quarter, and Garrell has now really found her rhythm going into this one. And so the key for the Caledonia Pride will be limiting Garrell and trying to force the Eagles players to come up with points outside of their forward. McVicker with it. There's going to be an off-ball foul called here. Yeah, and so Mayella Fallu is called for the off-ball foul. A push on the cutter. And Newcastle will have the ball on the end line. Kick ball, so we will see the shot clock reset to 14. Smith with the fake, finds Garrell. Garrell driving right on Phillips. Phillips, great defense, manages to get a hand up. Garrell scores over her, and that'll extend Garrell to 31 points on the night. She's also posted 5 assists and 4 rebounds, so a great night for her. And Pride will really focus their attention on trying to limit her in the last 4 minutes of action here, as we have a tied game. It's going to come right down to the wire. Smith with the 3-point shot, can't get it to go. And so Phillips will pull down her 19th rebound of the night. Story with the nice little jump 2 in the paint. Quicker tries to cross over on Rongier, but Rongier's active hands brings Phillips the other end, and the Pride are managing to get a point in transition there. Really has been a game of back and forth here. Both teams scoring in transition, stealing from their opponents, and so really it's going to be who has the best spell in this final 3.5 minutes. Pride have extended the lead back out to 4. The Eagles will be frustrated they couldn't get themselves a step ahead there. Managed to tie the game up, but never ahead. And so Pride have the ball in possession with a 4-point lead, 3.5 minutes left. Rongier off the off-ball screen. Story dives to the paint. Great defense from Abigail Lowe on Rongier. But Phillips with the mid-range jumper. She manages to get that lead up to 6. Phillips again, back-to-back great nights. Midweek again, 17 points and 15 rebounds. She's killing it on the boards again tonight. 19 rebounds and 20 points to add to that as well for Phillips. Harvey finds Story, drifts from the high post and has a long 2 attempt that won't go. Newcastle now have a team rebound and will inbound to go the full 90. Pride throw on the full court pressure. 2.5 left in this 4th quarter. This is going to go right down to the wire. A 6-point lead is all that's in it for the Caledonia Pride. Chukwu too is back in the game for the Eagles, brings it up over the timeline. She backs down on Nyela Falou. Corral, and I think they're going to call an offensive foul there on Georgia Smith. She didn't have her feet set to try and set the screen, and Sham Phillips just does a great job of coming off it and gets the offensive foul for Caledonia Pride. And that will be costly for the Eagles. They don't want to give up extra possessions to the Pride here. They're already trailing by 6. Sham Phillips tries to hustle to the ground with Chukwu, but Georgia Smith comes up with it for the Eagles. Hesitation takes Sham Phillips to the hoop. A nice 2-point play from Georgia Smith. She hesitated at the top, got her defender out of stance, and then attacked once she was out of stance and off balance, which makes it an easy 2 for the Australian. Story is fouled, and so we're in the bonus, and she will go to the line. Can't get the first of 2 free throws to drop. So she's having some difficulty with her shoes there. She adjusts before the second. Can't get it to drop, and the lead will stay at 4. Ball's kicked out to Georgia Smith, guarded by Rose Harvey. Smith sets a screen for McVicker to come off and pull the 3. Can't get it to drop. Story tries to cross over, didn't realize she had someone on her hip. Lowe comes up with a steal and another fast break point for Newcastle. Abigail Lowe just having a good couple of minutes here, hustling all over the floor, but she's just a little bit too eager for that one. Picks up a foul on Sian Phillips, and Sian Phillips will go to the line now. Sian Phillips shooting 83% from the line tonight. She's gone 5 for 6. Just a phenomenal night once again from Sian Phillips. Pride now have Pollyanna Story and Sian Phillips with 20 and 22 points respectively. Bench coming up big as well for the Pride tonight. 14 points off the bench, which really helped solidify this lead in the second half. And so Story and Ranger line up on the rebounds for Phillips, but Phillips won't need to use them, makes both. 4-point game with 1 minute and change left. Switch on the screen, good communication from Maud Ranger to get Rose Harvey back. She wanted that matchup, and so Newcastle forced a shot. No good, and so Pride have an opportunity to extend the lead from 4. Blue finds Ranger, middle of the paint. He's up and off balance shot, and it'll be out of bounds, Newcastle ball, and so timeout is called on the floor. Less than a minute left in this one, 4 points in it. It is going to come right down to the final buzzer, folks, so be sure you stick around to see the end of this one. It has the makings of a great finish, and hopefully Pride can cling on to that 4-point lead. They did have a lead of 11 going into the end of the third quarter, and Newcastle have just chipped away at it in the fourth, managing to get it back to a tie, but never leading themselves, and so Pride have a 4-point lead with just 48 seconds left in this one. And so the 5 on the floor will be Ranger, Phillips, Story, Harvey, and Falou. Ranger and Phillips both been on 4 fouls since late in the third quarter. And so you hope they get the chance to see this one out. Rachel Bland, club captain, will inbound for Newcastle. Story does a great job of denying the ball coming into Gorell off that cut there. Sian Phillips was guarding her on the basket side, and Story just did enough to deter Bland from throwing it into her. Docherty will check into the game for Myella Falou. And Falou has fouled out of the game on this one, so she will be on the bench for the remainder of the game. Gorell attacking aggressively. Sian Phillips playing good on-ball defense, just stays straight up, puts enough pressure on Gorell to take a heavily contested layup, and so Sian Phillips will go to the line and shoot 2. 35 seconds left in this one. 4-point lead. Sian Phillips with a chance to make it a 2-possession game. So she does, and the Pride will extend to 5-point lead with 35 seconds left on the clock. All right. Newcastle are no strangers to a close game. Last time out, they were defeated by Cardiff Archers by 2. Bruce Harvey defends home and gives up the 3-point shot. Garrell with the 3-point, gets it to go. Brings this one back to 3 points. With just 25 seconds left in this one, folks. Doherty tries to find Harvey on the opposite side, and it's a turnover. Pride just need to settle it. We've got a 3-point lead here, no need to rush things. And with just 20 seconds or so left in this one, there will be a timeout on the floor. So the teams have talked things over. This is where coaches live and breathe, loving tight games, give their chance to win a game. Both teams on 1 win for the season in WBBL Championship action. And so you could essentially say that by winning this, they will leapfrog the opposition in the standings. Pride will look to hold on to that 3-point lead in order to do so. Bland inbounds to McVicker. McVicker takes a shot, and Monranger manages to come up with a big defensive block. She stayed low in her stance. McVicker goes to take the shot under close contention. She manages to strip her before she even gets into her shooting rhythm. And Shan Phillips coming up with the ball. She's fouled. We've seen Shan at the line so many times tonight, and she has done a great job there. She's 9 from 10 so far, 90% from the line, and she goes 10 from 11. Another great night from Shan. 26 points, 23 rebounds. Just a beast of a night from her, as she has back-to-back double-doubles for Pride. Pride with some passive pressure on the ball handler, and Shan Phillips fouls the shooter. Garrell looked to heave up a 3-point shot, and so a foul was called, but it must not be on Phillips because she's on 4, so she would have fouled out. And it looks like the foul has been called on Doherty. Garrell just frustrated she couldn't get that one to drop. A little bit of communication. I wonder if she'll make or miss this one. So she makes it, and it's a 1-possession game here. Coach Donnie McDonald calls timeout. This is the time in the game where you, as a coach, you really question, do I call timeout and give the defense an opportunity to set up? Do I trust my players on the floor to run something and get a quick basket, get an easy look? And obviously Donnie McDonald, John Day and Bart Singers have elected to talk things over. They'll draw something up on the board. This is obviously a young team in Caledonia Pride, so they'll draw something up and they'll look to execute to perfection and try and hold out. 8.5 seconds left on the clock here, folks. A 3-point game, and so the Pride will look to come up with a basket early, and hopefully they can break the press that I would imagine you'll see from the Eagles. They'll probably not look to foul, see if they can get a quick steal. pick it out and try and take a 3-point shot and tie this game up with 8 seconds left. And so it really is coming down to the absolute wire here. So of course with that timeout, Pride advanced the ball into the half court. And we'll see pressure all over the floor from the Eagles. They look to get a quick steal. And a foul, just overly eager to try and get that steal from Garel. She acknowledges the referee and says, yeah, I did foul there. And so Maud Ranger will go to the line. Maud, another great night from her, leader on the floor for this Pride team. She has 12 points and 11 rebounds, a double-double for Maud. 2 double-doubles from the Pride team tonight. Sean Phillips and Maud Ranger. Pollyanna Story, just 1 rebound from a double-double as well. And so Ranger gets the first one to drop. That'll extend back to 4 points. A little bit of breathing space for the Pride. And a great bout of shooting there from Maud Ranger. She extends the lead to 5 points. Now Pride will just look to put pressure on the ball. Don't give them an easy shot. And Maud Ranger with a great steal as McVicker looks to put up the shot. And that'll end the game here, folks. Pride win this one 86-81, and they'll advance to 2 wins on the season in the WBBL Championship. It's been a great game and an absolute pleasure to bring it to you folks as Caledonia Pride get the win over Newcastle Eagles 86-81. And of course, you can catch the Caledonia Pride back in action once again. The next home game will be against Oakland Wolves at 3 p.m. on Sunday, the 28th of February. We look forward to having you tune in once again. My name's Rory Anton, and I have been delighted to bring you today's win for the Caledonia Pride against the Newcastle Eagles.